Starting. All right, so the topic is what we learned from each other about money.
Okay.
This is going to be all natural because we haven't discussed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
Hey, y'all, it's Amber.
And Pam.
No. Hey, y'all, welcome to Control Your Money. It's Amber.
And Pam.
And it's time for another Mommy and Me Money Chat. Today's topic is
I was gonna have to do it.
what we learned from each other about money.
We gotta do that.
No, we're gonna keep it just like it is. Okay, right. We've been talking a lot about our journey with money, my childhood, some of the things that my mom experienced as a single mom who was learning along the way about money. We thought it would be a good idea to have a conversation about what I learned from her about money as a child, and then in the years since, what she has learned from me about money, because our money journeys have been quite different. So I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
What's one, and we haven't rehearsed this and we haven't talked about our talking points either, so this is going to be interesting. What's one thing you learned from me? Maybe we could do 5 things. What's one thing you learned from me?
Okay. I would say overall to be a good steward of your money. That when she says money masters, it's not a glorification of money or idolizing money. It's respecting what you've been given, what you need, and how to spread it around in categories, budgets, or on paper, some kind of way to make sure your money has a place to be. She always says my money has a place to be, and that's something that sticks in my head. I mean, her money management, even as a little child, she's always been money conscious, calculating everything, always. So seeing that money, seeing how her life compared to my life, as a parent, you always want your child to have better, to be better than you were. So watching her journey inspired me in a lot of ways. I mean, I've always learned from her, even as a child, watching her grow, watching her become. I've always not been somebody that says I can't learn. So I love watching her life to see how the money, that aspect of money in her life, how she uses it.
Okay. Great. So ask me.
Okay, and what did you learn from me?
Okay. So one thing I heard not long ago was that people that have less learn how to do more with what they have. So even though she didn't necessarily have all of the money she needed, we talked about that in very early videos. I did watch her maximize her money. I learned how to prioritize my money from my mom because she always made sure that all needs were met. We had wants a lot of the times, actually, because our wants are quite humble. So we did have wants a lot, but she definitely showed me how to prioritize money, that the needs had to be met. So I had to look at what needed to be done first and make sure that that was taken care of before I ventured off into things that I wanted. What's another? Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What's another thing you learned from me?
I learned that money management is not a, how do I want to say it? It's not a punishment. That you still could enjoy your money, just making a place for your entertainment budget, your travel budget, whatever it is that you want to do or want to accomplish, you still can. Going out to dinner, a party or two, or whatever it is, you can still do that and still not rob the bank, so to speak. That taking from Peter to pay Paul kind of thing, So I watched her travel around the world, not on 1 cent of my money. And she's, well, I have another thing up. Okay, and what's your next?
My next one is she showed me how to plan my money. So my mom taught me, I don't know if you even realize it, but she taught me that, okay, if something is coming up, well, money is not as plentiful as we want it to be. So it's not like when that thing that is coming is on the way, we know about it well in advance, that we can wait until it gets here to try to figure out how to take care of it. So even if it was small amounts of money, she showed me how to put things to the side for the future.
My next one would be no, it's okay.
Ooh.
That's a big one for me. Everybody that knows me knows that no is okay. So I had to come to grips with that. And thank you so much, because you have to take care of things first, and you have to have a reserve for yourself before you can really truly give to others. You don't want to wipe yourself out, which sometimes I have done for the sake of others, when that was a big one for me.
Okay, and right along that line, she taught me that no was okay. Okay, this is the reason I learned that no is okay. Because depending on different relationships, there could be a lot of, I said this in a video I posted yesterday, especially in the Black community, because I'm Black, that's the community I could talk about. But there are a lot of dynamics around the people that have, and not necessarily like wealthy or rich, but maybe in the moment, and there's a need. And there are people that have, there's dynamics between the people that have and the people that don't. And sometimes what happens is the people that have are heavily leaned on. And then the people that have can feel guilty because I have and somebody else doesn't, and they're saying they need it. And I don't want to be over here having and they need and I don't give. But at the same time, I really truly learned from observing the ways that she would stretch herself to give to other people. I learned how important it is to have to sit back and assess your own situation and say, is this something that I really can do right now? Because if I have and I give and I don't have, and then I have a need, how can I meet my need if I gave what I needed away? Just because I have it doesn't necessarily mean I don't need it. I need it too. And I did see that at times, where she went without to make sure that somebody else can get, and not every situation where that happens is bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but then when she had a need, what could she do? So that's how I learned how important it is to say no. It took me a long time to get to the point where I could easily say no, and I still struggle with that, but there's a whole process before my no. So again, if somebody wants, they know it's going to be an interview. We got to sit down. We have to have a discussion. We got to look at your budget. I need to, so all of that process, a lot of people just don't want to deal with. So I'm not put in a position to say no very often. What's your next one? We have 2 more to go.
I would say, as you always say, everybody is not going to be on the journey, the same journey. And we want financial stability for everybody, but some people will listen, some people will not, and that's okay. It's okay.
Okay. All right. My next one is to look for more, to take action to pursue more. I definitely learned that from her. I think we talked about that in that last video. About the income. I learned from her that, okay, if I look at my situation and I say I'm not making enough, well, I need to make more. And I need to figure out how to make more. During the financial downturn, it started in 2011. That's when a lot of companies were furloughing employees. And during that time, I had moved into an apartment a couple years before, and I had responsibilities. And I don't know that I have asked my mom for money. No. I saw her asking people for money. So, that when I was much younger. So that kind of put me in the mindset that when I had a need, I had to find a way to make it happen on my own. I did not want to have to go and ask people for money. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I did watch my mom have to do that as a child when I was a child, and it just became important to me as I became an adult that I did not have myself in that position. So during that financial downturn, when I was being furloughed from my main job, I went and got a retail job to work part-time. And at one point I was working the same hours for both my full-time job where I was being furloughed on certain days, but also, my retail job, I would take on more and more shifts. Now, I was single, I was young, I was physically able to manage that even though I was fully exhausted from other responsibilities that I had as well. But it was very important to me that my rent has to be paid. I can't sit around and try to figure out how to make my furlough full-time dollars multiply. Rent needs to be paid next month, so I went out and got another job. And if I had to do that now, I would as well. So she taught me to always look for ways to make more money, and that working is a perfectly fine way to do that. Okay.
Thinking on my last one. Mm-hmm. Faith is a big part of our lives. We talk about that all the time. So just watching her have faith and not fear. Faith, yeah. Especially with money.
Okay.
Money situations and well, in life in general. This is not a fearful person, but she trusts God will work it out. And to just go with the flow of life. I'm a worrier. I tended to be a worrier at most of the time. I'm always analyzing and overanalyzing. And she'll just say, it's gonna work out. And it seems that it always does. So with money, just don't fear the process of saving. Don't worry about all the things that you like. Again, you might not be able to do with it, but God will provide. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. And God wants us again to be good stewards of what He has blessed us with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that, Amy. Mm-hmm. Well, my last one comes out of that, and I'm conflicted in saying it. But I feel like it has to be said because God will work it out, right? God will work it out. And I'm so excited I get to tell the story because she reminded me of it just now. When I was little, one day I needed to go to school and I needed lunch money. And her wallet was completely empty. And she was up there praying, Lord, please help me find a couple dollars to give my child so she can buy lunch at school. And I remember watching her open a drawer and open a piece of paper and just start crying. And it was because in that piece of paper was a $2 bill that her not long deceased brother had given her. Her brother had died not long before. Mm-hmm. And it was like a message, from him that everything will be okay, and then also in that experience, tucking away money, saving money, informally saving money by putting it away
somewhere,
and then you don't know that it's there and you forget about it. I think ultimately, I think that's the lesson. I was a little conflicted in saying God will work it out because sometimes people take that posture, but don't take action.
Yeah.
And when we talk about faith without works is the works part. Faith without works is dead. So yes, we can pray and we can ask God to work it out, but we also need to try to take some action to facilitate the process, But I guess I'm gonna bring it back because my thing is control your money.
Yeah.
Through that experience,
yes,
I learned about how maybe that was my first savings example. Yeah. Shout out to Uncle Marvin.
Yes.
All right. So this was nice.
Yeah,
this is fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoyed this.
Yeah. So we want to get kind of deeper under the surface, more into the connection with the history and what I talk about now. What I've learned is all a result of my history. So I'm so glad to have my mom to go through this experience with me and share, and again, be so open and transparent and honest in sharing her experience and her, journey financially, and then how that influenced me.
And thank you for being there. Thank you for teaching me. We're never too old to be taught something.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank God for giving me you to help me through this life.
That's sweet. All right, y'all. Until next time.
Control your money. Bye.